Inside of Canvas, you're going to find the assignment Transforming Objects in Photoshop. So go ahead and open that up and download the file. It may take a few minutes because the file has 2 artboards, and it looks like this. Okay, so let's talk about what we have to do. We are going to work from left to right. We are going to be using different transforming techniques that are going to help you with your further project when you get to your surreal world. So let's go into our layers and make sure that we're in the right layer. I'm going to go to Cat, and I'm just going to simply go to Edit, Transform, and Transform by flipping horizontally. So the cat just needs to flip. It's just a simple technique on how to get a photo to go the opposite direction. Okay, now we're going to do something called Distort. So I'm going to take the graffiti, and I have already separated the man from the background, and I'm going to take my graffiti and just simply place it right on top of the picture. I want to be able to see through the graffiti so that I can distort it to fit the wall, so I need to change my opacity, and I would go down probably about 50%. And it's a little bit confusing, but this right here is actually the corner of the building. This is a window. This isn't a gap in the building. So we're gonna go ahead and treat this like this is the back, and then we have our floor. So I'm gonna lay this right here, and I'm going to do the same thing, go to Transform, but this time I'm gonna hit Distort. When I click on these anchor points, I can just simply move them in the place that they need to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and move them as close to that edge as possible. And then I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to bring this one down. I don't care about the fact that this is going off the edge, because as soon as I hit return, I'm going to come over here and I'm actually going to clip mask it into the picture below. And we can go ahead and add the opacity back up, or make the transfer it back to 100%. And then I'm going to go over to my blend modes, and I'm going to do screen or soft light. Soft light is nice because it's going to keep with the shadow of the alley or the walkway. All right, we're going to go over here. Now I have transferred to Artboard 2, so as I click on this, it's going to switch me over in my layers, and I'm going to start with the label, and I'm just going to bring it up here, kind of place it on top of the bottle, and we are going to, instead of going up to edit, what I'm going to do is do Command T to transform. And I'm going to head over to the top option bar and click on this arch. It's the warp modes, and I'm going to set it to warp for a cylinder. So obviously this is not properly placed, so I'm just going to simply use these anchors and adjust. You want to leave a little bit of an edge of the bottle showing, and if it still needs a little bit of work, you can go ahead and hit Command T again, grab your warp settings, and it's still on cylinder. Okay, there's not much of a gradual arch, and the reason that is happening is because we're looking straight at the bottle. It's when things are higher up on the horizon line that you're going to get a little bit more. So this one's going to have just a teeny bit more than this one. Okay, so let's make a copy. So Command J, and see if you can move that copy and then lower it below so that it fits between the cutout of the jar and the actual jars. And it looks good. I'm just going to shift it over and Command T to transform it. Go to my warp modes on cylinder and just kind of raise that up just a teeny bit more and lower it down. I'm using my arrow key too because it helps me so I can get a little bit more of a precise movement. And I'm also looking at this arch right here and it's looking too arched. So I'm going to do Command T again, warp mode, and then lower this down so it looks a little bit more natural. Okay, we're ready to move on to the little boy. So we're going to head over to the boy, and there shouldn't be a layer mask here, so I'm going to actually take that away. Okay, we are going to edit, and this time we're going to use what's called Puppet Warp. And I'm going to place little tiny anchors all over his body. And I'm going to especially pay attention to his knee. Okay. When the anchor is in blue, you have the option of adjusting from that anchor. I want to just simply rotate his knees down, so I'm going to hold my option key and slide my mouse out until I get the circle, and then gradually move it. Now, the reason this happened is because this one right here should go away. So let's try putting it back. Let's try, there we go. Okay, so only the anchor points down his back and into his knee. Don't put one over onto his leg. And then you're done. And just move him slightly so that it looks like he's sitting on the chest, on the edge. You are done. You're going to save this as a PSD to your Creative Cloud. So make sure this is in your Creative Cloud. And you're also going to need to file, export, export as, and this is important. Make sure that these two artboards are checked off, so when it gets exported, both of the files will come with it, and you will then export. You want to export into your Creative Cloud. Click Open. And as soon as it exports, go to Canvas. And when you are turning this in, you are going to need to make sure that you select both of them. So I had already turned it in as a sample, but I'll show you how I do it again. You're going to select, open, and you'll have 1 and 2. This one already went through, so I've got duplicates. And then you submit, and then you're done.